Hey guys, Jonathan here. You're listening to Demon Dayz, an actual play podcast with a focus on fiends and the friends who play them. I hope the day sees you safe, healthy, and in good spirits. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor Arknight, whose maps, props, and minis bring our game to life. And I want to draw your attention to KiloWhat and her awesome art for our show. Seriously, go check it out. Also want to give a big shout out to Michaela Garrison, who edits our program and who has to deal with all of Andrew's chewing. Heart emoji, fire emoji. In standing in solidarity with the Black Lives Matter movement, we'd like to highlight an Indiegogo campaign for a documentary from B. Dave Walters called Dear America from a Black Guy. You can find all of that over on his Twitter, at B. Dave Walters, and we'll have a link in the show notes so you can go contribute to the campaign. To all our listeners, thank you so much for joining our tabletop adventure and having fun with us. We love you all. Now, let's get to today's episode.
Friends, fiends! After last week's turn of events, I think it's time for me to triple my order of ale. You see, Leysa left the party to find and kill her mother, with plans to return to the monastery one day to kill its leader. Big change. Huge change. But let's not waste another moment and see what the party does next in these Demon Dayz.
First 1 minute passes, and then another, and then another. You hear the distant "Hya!" and the gallop of hooves as Leysa exits the compound to take fate into her own hands. And you find yourselves feeling two ways. Saddened by her absence, but also proud of her resolve. The commotion was enough to catch the attention of pretty much everyone out and about in the compound at that time. You see a few eager monks at the gate prepare to give chase or do something, as eager guardsmen might do, but one of the attendants, Reese, runs up and just, shakes his head. And Feder, you never really stopped scoping out the place, and because of that, you notice, by now, Chaliaton standing at the threshold of his quarters, up towards the very top of the Scalera Tower, watching the events unfold. You also notice the turtle that you talked to earlier, Remold, staring toward the gate for a moment before looking up at the leader of this monastery and cursing under his breath. Or at least, that's what you would imagine a turtle might be doing in a situation like this.
Oh, I can read his lips, 100%.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah. And yeah, very much lots of curses.
Yeah.
And pretty much down the list from the book. The morning is yours.
Oh, right, because she left at first light, didn't she?
Yeah, we just got here.
Yeah.
We were there, about an hour. Right, so here's the thing. I feel like there's a ticking clock on our ability to stay here safely. I know everyone's been cordial, but Leysa said to us over and over and over again that we weren't really going to be welcomed here. Given what's just transpired, I feel like we need to quickly and efficiently go about our business and get the fuck out of here. I know they're resupplying the ship. That may affect our timing a bit, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to think, but I trust Leysa. I don't know, it's weird. It's only been a month, but yeah, this doesn't sit well. And if they're lying to her about this, and who knows what else they're lying about. So, I don't know. What do you two think?
I agree, there's a ticking clock. There's a ticking clock on me going and kicking that dude's ass. But yes,
boy.
We probably shouldn't stay here much longer.
Yeah, if Leysa hadn't made it very clear that she's gonna beat the life out of him at some point in the near future, I would offer to help. But yeah.
He'd recover from me by the time she showed up, so equal.
That's true.
Equal amount. But I don't want to wreck what little business we could manage to get done here, so I'm gonna rein it in as much as I can. But there is a ticking clock on both ends.
Yeah. So, John, what have I, in my walk through and everything that's gone by and me kind of clocking it, what's a head count of how many unique, different people have I seen since coming through the gates?
Since coming through, you've seen about maybe, let's see, given the time, probably 50 or 60 people.
Okay.
In terms of students, there's maybe 10 or more of just upper level, but that's roughly about thereabouts.
Yeah, I think those aren't great betting odds. You know what I mean? If shit were to go real bad, and I'll go down swinging. I don't give a shit. But yeah, probably better ways to go about things. They said what? We're here really. We just want Usurper's fall information. We want. They said they had been tracking the cult a bit. I'd love to know what that is and what else are we looking for here. Taz, I saw you eyeing. I want to say charlatan, but I know that's not his name.
Close enough.
Close enough. When we were talking, did you spot something?
John, just really quick, remind me, did he also have a mark on his hand, or did he just recognize my mark?
He had a mark on his hand, on the wrist, on the wrist, yeah.
Okay. Yes, I think he might be affiliated, or have something to do with the Raven Queen.
Interesting. Well, does that add to the things you need to kind of work out or discuss with him?
I feel that's something that we can certainly talk to him about while we're trying to get the rest of the information. If anything, it would be a way to throw him off guard, levy more information.
Okay. Well, where to start? Do we think that Rook or Reese is probably the more reliable person to... I don't really want to bother Schultain with all of our shit. He's going to go mope or whatever.
Right.
Before I stick a boot up his ass.
Right. I think Reese is probably the better option.
Right.
Yeah, Reese. Reese is the one who's kind of doing a lot of crowd control right now as you guys are talking. Just getting all the curious new members and students and experienced, the youngsters, so to speak, getting them all back to work, back to the routine of the day.
Right.
And everyone seems to be going back to their separate ways. So like the attendant's doing a good job and pretty quickly. So it won't be too long before they come back and see how you're doing.
Yeah, I'm going to just eye for detail as things kind of go back to the way they were. Mm-hmm. And as everyone kind of noticed the commotion, etc. Am I catching any sideways glances at us? Like, is anybody, I'll roll insight if you want, but I'm just trying to see.
You probably would need to.
Yeah.
You don't, as far as most of the people aren't giving you guys a second's thought. You remember that Elgin from before who walked away. They are off to the distance and they keep eyeing you. But other than that, maybe Remold too. Other than, I think, Feder, from what you can tell, he seems to be looking at you guys in the way that someone would be like, I wonder what's going to happen next, or I wonder what's happening. Like kind of a worried, a concerned look in your direction, more so than a shady one. So he looks a little bit more concerned at the situation. The Eldrin, they look suspicious of you.
Okay, cool. I feel like we should stick together. Library?
Sounds good.
I love me a good library.
All right. Reese, my good man, when you have a moment.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry everything went down the way it did.
Yeah. Well, we only know of this place by what Leysa said, and she's obviously a little disenfranchised.
Gone.
Right, well, that too, with things a bit. So I think we just want to respectfully go about our business, and then we'll take our leave of you as well. But
sure.
Were you able to work out with the captain about the resupply of the ship? What time frame do we think we'd need for them?
I think for them, they gave a couple days worth, but I think it was more of something about their ship. They didn't say anything more than that. And
right.
It's one of those things, Feder, you can tell that they're like very curious, but they're trying to mask it.
I'll go ahead and I'll just say, like, we sustained very minor damage in our travels here, and they just need a bit to, who knows how far they'll need to travel next. They're still charting that out themselves, and I think they just want to make sure they're tip-top, yeah?
Yeah. And I think one of them was supposed to come back at some point in a little bit. Either the captain or the other guy, longer hair.
Yeah. We want to impede upon your way of life as little as possible, but the couple of things that we do very much need, and part of the reason we stopped by here, other than, again, bringing your Leysa back to you, was Chultain mentioned the cult activities that some of your kind of away team pairs, some of your scouts had clocked their activities. I'd love any logs or perhaps to speak to anyone who saw their movements, particularly around Usurper's Fall, and we also would love to do a bit of research in your library if we could.
Yes, I believe the order was to let you into the library, give you access to it. Although, there might be some books that are higher up. We have people who can help with that. As far as the activity goes, I can give you that information. I am privy to any of the reports and anything like that. So if you want some activity, rumored activity, wherever it might be, are you guys looking to check it out? I know it's something that's a little outside of our purview other than just documentation.
Well, without giving you the whole business, Reese, we were all captured, including Leysa, by this cult. And so there's a bit of desire to figure out exactly why and exactly what they're about and prevent them from doing it again to ourselves or anyone else. So,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, a bit of a...
Were you guys harmed in any way?
No, and that's kind of part of the problem. We all awoke, and some faction of the cult was gone, some faction of the cult was dead, and we were kind of robbed of any real answers. So that's kind of... living members of this cult that we can actually have a dialogue with would be very helpful. So the fact that they are moving about is interesting.
Yeah, no, there's been, we've clocked a bit of activity for the past few days of just caravans with parts and pieces and creatures in cages and things like that going by. We haven't really engaged because of the amount of cultists. And there's even been some escorts with Cambion and even, I think, what did they say? Aaron, yes, as well. Various ones going through, and just, it's been a matter of do not engage as far as our reports go. If you want, I can actually give you the reports. And he's got like a few scrolls attached to a sack in the back, and pulls out one that's the most recent, and he hands it to you. It's like, feel free to peruse this. It's got the log of where they were spotted at.
Right. These caravans by boat? I know this is fairly swampy territory. Were they like a proper cart caravan, or what manner in which were they traveling?
Yeah, the in that document I gave you, there's two specific ones. There's one that was from the water, from boat, going to the actual Usurper's Fall, and then there was some activity inland, coming from inland somewhere. Although our scouts were not able to actually discern origin point, but it seems like they are trying to come in from different areas to mask any sort of source. And that's, especially in this area, in this swampy area, it can be hard to determine already without an organized effort to mask that. So we've gotten some coming from the north as well as some coming by boat. And the one that we got, our farther scouts caught, was the one by land that seems to be coming from the north.
Interesting.
Yeah, and on the document too, you see the scout as well as the report written out, as he said. You've also got drawings of the route itself, as detailed as a scout would be able to do in a hurry and shorthand. But
right.
Feder, it's something you can kind of piece together pretty quickly. It's not dissimilar to any different forms of cant that are locational based.
Right. So we could follow that overland if we wanted to, theoretically.
Yeah. And that's definitely an option, and we can help you however we need to. Our resources are limited in that regard. Again, we're under strict do not engage.
These are devils, though. Isn't that your jam? Isn't that how you guys get your rocks off here? Kicking shit back to different planes?
Yes, but the volume is more of the issue. At least that's what I've been told.
Right, so you guys don't fight fights you can't win. Is that it?
Right.
Cool. Right, so this library, then.
Yeah, it's base of the skill area. Just go in. There'll be a librarian there who can get you any book you need. You can try to climb the bookshelves if you wish, but they are practiced.
Taz, Yusuf, any other questions for Mr. Reese here?
Do you have any personal knowledge of Usurper's Fall?
Rudimentary. Anything I might have learned from the books in our library, just history and maybe some of the variations on that history. I know that The true origins of that mountain have been under some debate, and those texts can get really, how shall I put this, dry and academic. So I'm not as into it. But the prevailing theory is that it was either a home for dragons or the, I guess, mother of all dragons. That's the one that and he leans forward. I like it because it seems more epic. And he leans back.
What are some books we should look at while we're in there?
Probably a few of the volumes on the history of the Usurper's Fall, if that's your interest. Or we have some stuff on Infernal, basics on the hells and any other specifics and legends and things like that. So that might be a way to go, but that'd be where I would start at least.
Fair enough.
One last bit of business. We've got in our travels, and part of the reason that the boat's taking a minute to repair itself is we were attacked with an extraplanar portal on the boat, and we have a bit of the boat embedded with a piece of that, shall we say, weakness in time-space, and we want to definitively destroy it. Would you recommend a place here within the Roche Day that we could have both a bit of privacy and, I obviously don't want to disrupt, your goings-on here, but we definitely want to deal with this before we head out on our way. And we're happy to do it outside the walls if that's better, or if there's a certain space you prefer.
I'll have to check with the Mystera, specifically, because he may or may not be okay with that, and if he's not, then we can give you a few people and go outside of our walls and at least have that space available for you.
Great. I appreciate the reports. We'll look these over. It's been a great help, and again, we'll do what we can, probably stay the night or so, and then hopefully head back to the ship, just to be out of your hair. But when you speak to the Dame Mystera, just let him know. We'd love to kind of deal with this artifact when we can, and be on our way.
Yes, and in fact, I'll go do that right now. And he books it.
Right, well, to the library then. Anything else we need to look into while we're here?
Not that I can really think of.
So, and I'll pull out the reports, John. What kind of numbers are we talking about here as far as these caravans?
The one on land was about maybe half a dozen cultists with a few different animals in cages, and it looked like they were bringing some pieces of machinery with. So it wasn't a huge caravan, but just enough to at least get through the swamp maybe a little bit easier, a little bit quicker, a little bit more under notice.
And if I just ran some numbers real quick, like from the day of just where they were spotted and the day that they were spotted and the distance with the map, like how far ahead are they from us if we were to try to plot some sort of intercept? If we were to try to, get to the caravan before the caravan, because they're going over land, right?
Right, they're going over land.
Like they're going to have to either go over or under the mountain to get to Usurper's Fall.
Right.
Or through the range somehow. So is there a world where I could just run the math on like how far ahead these guys are from us?
Yeah. Let's see. I would say...
let's roll. Happy to roll some dice.
I would say investigation, I guess.
Okay.
I'll assist.
Fantastic. All right. 13 and a 14, so that becomes plus 8, 22.
You get the sense based off of doing the numbers, running the numbers, that judging from where the scouts saw them, they were quite a little bit north from you guys, northeast. They kind of did a circular route, that if you guys left fairly soon, it would probably take you about maybe a day to get to intercept, if even that.
Okay. Do we get the sense that we could get to them before they got to the castle or the tower, depending?
Yes.
Okay. Well, particularly if they had machinery.
Yeah, so they're not moving super fast, so it gives you guys a bit of an advantage.
That's something really to consider. We could royally fuck shit up for them and slow things down precipitously. I don't want to go charging headlong into things. There's been enough of that recently, but yeah. We know that it's going to be 4 days for the ship to get back up in the air. You know what I mean?
How big is the caravan?
Half dozen people, a couple creatures. That's what the report says.
Sorry, not how big, how long, like literally, like how long is the caravan? Do they have vehicles?
The report would mention a couple carts. So like maybe three carts, half a dozen cultists, and I think the report even mentioned that they did see some higher level and like one. I think it was a Cambion.
Right.
So it's
Nothing we haven't bested before.
What's the ground like between here and there? Is it all swamp, or is it?
We'd have to cross over some amount of water to get to. It's on an island, right, John, or a peninsula? We're on a different Yusuf. I believe there's a small strait between us and them. But I mean, we could take one of the smaller boats across, or have someone here ferry us to land.
Yeah, so you'd have to, if anything, you wouldn't have that long of a boat trek through, and if you found like the right path, you could probably wade through it. It's definitely, if you want to roll, I guess, history check.
It's so funny. My 3-5 character just popped up and it said knowledge geography on it, and I was like, yeah, that would be really helpful. And then I was like, oh, we don't have that. What did you say?
I had a 16.
You wanted history, John?
For history, yeah.
I have an 18 for history.
Okay.
That helps.
Yeah, it would be, some patches would be difficult terrain, but nothing near as bad as you experienced with the Shatterlands. So typical swamp, forests, bog mix, but not nearly as impassable. So
Good thing I have this stupid fucking oil skin. All right, should we hit the books?
Yeah, let's do that. Gonna pull. What's the guy's name who's with us?
Oh,
Reese.
Reese ran off.
No, Reese left.
Oh, Reese left, sorry.
He said he pointed us towards there'd be a librarian in here, theoretically.
Yep. You guys head to the Scalera, the big tower in the center of the compound. As you walk toward it, you do see Reese start to descend on the side where the threshold for Charlton was. And he starts working his way down, and he gets to you guys right about as you get to the door, and he nods at you. It should be fine. Just find an open spot near the tower, and there'll be people nearby in case anything goes wrong.
So do it inside the city?
Yeah.
Inside the walls? Okay.
Right. And Rook and I will run interference with anyone who might be curious, and we'll go from there. But I've got other routines to go through at the moment, so feel free. Go use our library as much as you need. He runs off again.
We'll get your attention before we do anything.
Sounds good?
Okay.
Sounds good!
I think the thing that I'm most concerned with, if they're amassing things, is days of prominence associated with Usurper's fall. If we can know what sort of a time frame under. I mean, that seems to be... it doesn't seem that any of this stuff happens randomly. John, were we able to ascertain... This may be old news, but in all the stuff we got from the second tower, were we able to ascertain a date? Or did Galotha know a date when the event it was to happen of the first shattering?
No, there wasn't a specific date that they had.
Okay. But yeah, that's as I'm just want to try to read up on Lucifer's balls, Usurper's fall.
Changing the name. That's it. Changing the name. Right here.
Ways to get, paths in, through, around the mountain range, and his important dates, particularly ones that might be soonish. That's what I'm looking for.
All right. You guys go in to the Scalera, and inside the tower is quite a sight to behold. This first level that you guys first find yourselves in, as you plot your course of action, goes up about 6 or 7 floors by your estimate, and is just one giant library with bookshelves upon bookshelves lining the walls. A half dozen thick, knotted, slotted ropes hang down from the ceiling, and you can see a few people using them to scale up a shelf of interest, grabbing what they need. Some have managed to secure themselves on some part of the rope and read as they hang. A few younger folks on the ground with book in hand. You do see someone approach as you guys enter in the robes of the Ferochte. You see a human woman with kind of graying hair, all wrapped up tight in a bun, and longer robes, but more loose-fitting. Hello.
Hello.
Can I help you in any way?
Hi, yeah, Jiltane and Reese said we could kind of have our run of the library here. We're friends of Leysa's and on a fairly important mission, looking up whatever we can about Usurper's fall and some of the recent cult activities in the area. So if you could point us towards the most helpful informations, and don't be stingy about where the restricted section is if you catch my drift. You know what I mean?
She nods slowly. Okay. Ah. In fact, you get a sense of like, oh, okay, there's a wariness about her. Yeah, let me grab you a few books from across the library here, if you want to give me like 5 minutes, and we can go from there. Unless you wish to go up there yourself, I can give you a section number, but
Yeah,
might be easier if I do it.
little column A, little column B.
Yeah.
Let's see what you come up with first.
Sure. And she bows and starts scaling some of the ropes.
I'll bow back. Yeah, whatever the pleasantries are. I mean, I'm pissed, but I'm not that pissed. John, I want to do for an eye for detail in here and just kind of see where's like the good shit, where's the hidden shit. And that's oh my God, it's a natural 20, John.
Ah, awesome.
Yeah.
Judging from the demeanor of the people who are in the library right now, we've got a few people who are a little bit more studious, a little bit more straight-laced. You can tell by postures that you can kind of tell where the where the squares are researching, factual stuff, and then a few people who are kind of skirting around the attention of the librarian, kind of up to a little bit further up, maybe 5 or 6 stories.
Right.
Kind of off to one corner. You can kind of see a few people shifty-eyed, kind of grabbing what they need and going. So there's a pocket over there that seems to be a little bit more either risque or a little bit more, not everyone can quite grab it.
Sure.
But you also remember that there was a library also with the Dame Mystera.
Let's see what we find here, but we may need to visit the man upstairs, metaphorically. I don't know. I think I could probably get up there. I mean, I'll take my suit jacket off and loosen my tie a bit and do a couple stretches, and I don't know, what do you think?
There's no harm in trying.
Yeah, sure. So,
Yeah.
I'll try to acrobatics my way up there.
Yeah. So then just I guess do three acrobatics checks.
Just saying, you'd probably do better if you were naked.
Yeah, it's really funny that you say that, because Leysa said that these were a bunch of horny fuckers, but everybody here is, like,
Uptight?
pretty, like, Squaresville. Yeah, right? Like, where do you think the party is? Like, you know what I mean? I don't know.
We gotta find the meditation chamber.
Yeah.
It's probably at the top of this huge phallus we're standing in.
Right? Well, not super great. I did get one good one. Let's see, 15, 8, and 6.
You almost get up there. You're still maybe 2 or 3 stories away, and you're starting to struggle with the ropes a bit.
Right. Motherfucker.
If you wish, you can do another one, like a just higher.
DC, but I'll
DC.
fall on my ass if I fuck it up. Sounds like
Yeah.
Call of Cthulhu rules, John. I'll push this roll. Sure, why not? Oh, yeah. 5.
5.
I
I
catch
was
him.
gonna say, I'll catch him.
You make a good go of it.
Yeah.
You catch him. From the way that you kick off as you try to jump up, the rope does betray you a bit and push away. And you realize that you underestimated just the climbing methodology here, and you fall. And Drew, you said you were going to catch him?
Yeah, I'll catch him.
Okay. Should be fairly, I would say maybe do a roll.
Strength check.
Yeah.
17. Sorry, 14. Oh, wait, sorry. Strength check or saving throw?
I suppose saving throw.
Okay, 17.
Because he's 17, yeah, then you're good.
Okay.
Catch him with a whomp.
You alright?
Thanks, Daddy. And I'll kiss him right on the cheek. Sorry about that. Anyone else?
John, is it just ropes to get up there, or is it like, is it all smooth, or is it like, are there footing points?
Yes, on the shelving. So there's a combination of ropes and footing points at the various edges and at increments along each of the shelving.
Cool. How far apart are they?
You could probably do it a few feet.
Cool.
What do you think, you little sexy satyr? You want to mountain goat your way up there?
No, it's funny you say that. He takes his sword off the side of his hip so it's not in the way. He holds it, and you see him just vault himself up.
Yeah, I would say, for sake of anything along the way, do 3 dex. Probably acrobatics.
Acrobatics or athletics?
Since you're vaulting up there, probably acrobatics.
Okay. 17, 9. Well, and 17, 9, and 15. But remember what we were talking about because of the hooves?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I'm taking that into account. You're fine. There's a moment kind of in the middle of your trek upward where you do a little bit of your hoof doesn't quite catch it, slips a little bit, and you think, oh shit, this is it. But that last roll gets you the rest of the way. And you see even a few students looking your direction with that oh shit moment, and they're like, oh, he did it. He mountain goated himself up there. And yeah, you get far enough to where you need to be.
Okay.
And then yeah, you look through a few of the book titles up there, and yeah, there's a little bit more infernal stuff, infernal cultish stuff, more histories of the mountain, the Usurper's Fall, a few of those. And yeah, you just start grabbing a few of the books that have good covers, and as you make your way down, you do see the librarian also making her way down as well.
Am I at the same... Well, actually, I didn't even know they were there, so never mind.
The what?
I didn't know they were there. Only John saw them, so... Or Johnny.
Saw what?
Only you saw the people being shifty that were higher up, so I didn't even know they were there. I was going to ask about them, but... So yeah, I grabbed...
I would have pointed... Anything I would have seen, I would have pointed out. Like, I'm not...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Am I still...
Yeah, I assumed he did.
Am I up at the same level that they were? Or are they higher up?
You were at the same level that they were. So they saw you coming up, and they moved aside and gave you some space. And that's where you found all those materials. So they were just looking through a few of the volumes of the folklore and the legends and some of the stuff that, yeah, they're generally not encouraged to look at. And yeah, as you make your way down, eventually the librarian does meet you down there. You don't seem to, Yusuf, you don't think she noticed, but Feder, you can tell that she's eyeing Yusuf a bit. Mm-hmm. Like, what are we doing up there? She's not going to push it.
Right.
Because he is a little bit taller than she is, but she just hands the books over to you as well. And it's like, here you go. If there's anything else you might need, please let me know. And she exits with that bit of passiveness.
Bro, I flag her before. I kind of like pull her off to the side before she leaves.
Oh yes. What can I do for you?
Would you happen to have any information, books, catalogs, what say you, about the Raven Queen?
Yes, we might have one. I can go check if you would like, or if you wish to go up there as well. She points. It's off to that corner, a little bit tucked behind a few more geography things, but I can get it for you if you wish, or if you want to do as your friends and get a little bit of fun exercise, you can.
You can get it for me.
She stares at you for a moment, does a curt nod. Okay. And starts making her way up. She's not really hiding this kind of weird passive aggressiveness. But yeah, Yusuf brought his books down, and Feder, you got the books that she brought down.
I've found is there like a reading desk of some sort, John? Some sort of table? Or is it more like monk style,
Yeah, there...
mats and shit? Like, what's the vibe in here?
It's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. There is a central table in the middle.
Great.
And that one isn't as occupied. A lot of the other students, though, are using the ground. So they're doing the monk shit, leaving this nice research table not used.
Yeah, I'm going to roll up my sleeves, pull out some very tiny reading glasses.
Aww.
And just be like, God damn, I love paperwork. Here's if you
Those
want
glasses survived this whole time? Wow.
I love a guy with a good pair of glasses.
Let's fucking do this, man. Let's go. And I just take a sip of coffee and I'm like, yeah, pass me the fucking books. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, you get started. They're voluminous, but your high investigation is doing a lot of the work here for you. So that'll take a moment. And while you're doing that, the librarian does make her way back down with a bit of a dusty volume. Kind of a nice big full hand worth. It's heavy, but she's holding it like it's nothing. Hands it to you. It's like, this is anything we've got on the deities and the demi-deities, and there's a section in there or two for the Raven Queen, and anything along those lines. Have I missed anything? Is there anything else you need?
No, thank you for... Yeah, this'll do. Thank you. I give her like the little bow that I saw her doing.
This'll do for a bit, yeah.
She bows as well and starts climbing back up the ropes. You see her swat away a few students who are not reading, but they're hanging around some books and just loitering. And she's like, get out of there. And you guys are pretty much left to yourselves for the time being.
When she's like far enough away, I'm going to attempt to get up to where she was, just to give it a twice over,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You doing the ropes?
Well,
or the footholds?
I mean,
I walk by with a book in my hand. I'm like, you're not Pooh Bear, and you might want to try the ropes.
one of these days I'm gonna pants that guy.
Clop, clop, clop. As I walk by on the stone.
3 rolls, and my mind just went blank. Did I have Feder and Yusuf, you guys do different rolls, or did I have you do the same ones?
It was acrobatics for both.
Yeah, then do that.
Okay. A 15, a nat 20, and a 16.
Yeah. You, that middle section, you really get some flourish to your climb up, and it carries you the rest of the way. Like, even that last roll is just like, yeah, you're good. You make it up there with surprising ease. Feder and Yusuf, you guys notice it's impressive.
Show off.
Yeah, it's good. It'll make up for a couple of those fights where she was just kind of shooting things off.
So yeah,
Books.
I'm just kind of looking for anything extra, anything that might stand out to me. I don't entirely trust that she gave me all of the information, but most of it could also not entirely be here.
okay.
So I'm just giving it a extra look over.
Right. Do just with a low DC an investigation of the area.
Hey, one of my better skills.
Because you found the spot where she pulled the book, the gap there, but just looking around at the shelf.
20, dirty 20.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
So where the spot was, you can see that the shelf itself isn't as nearly as crammed as the other shelves above and below it and around. So you get the sense that more books are not in that shelf. So whether that means that they've been taken out or they're gone or been removed, you get a sense that it's a little bit roomier than the other shelves nearby.
Is it dusty? Does it look like there haven't been books there for a while? Shut up. Does it seem like books have been, like, are there lines like books have been recently removed? What?
Yes, the latter. It looks like books have been removed.
Okay.
The ground zero where she pulled out the one book, a lot of that dust is disturbed, but there are other pockets you can kind of see in between where books are like leaned against each other. There's those gaps. You can sense that there's some dust it's undisturbed still and some outlines.
Okay.
So you get the sense that this shelf has been newly tampered with in terms of removing stuff. So if there were other books besides the one you have, they're not there anymore. Or it could just be that there could be a few different things, but there's definitely been some meddling with it. And do you stay up there? Do you go back down to check out the book you have? You can always start checking it there if you want to hoist yourself with one of the ropes or something, but...
Sure. I'll start looking at it a little bit here. Just maybe like a quick glimpse through it, and then I'll go down.
Okay, yeah. You get kind of a good wrap around with the rope. You don't notice, you didn't notice it when you were holding it, but when you start opening the spine, you notice that it's got that feel, that loosened glue along the spine, where when someone has ripped pages out and ripped pages out toward the center, there's that thing where like it deforms the book a little bit, and because of its size when you were holding it, you didn't quite notice it. But yeah, the minute you popped it open, it had that weird lopsided like flop to it of ripped pages, and sure enough, in the middle you find maybe a dozen or so pages just torn out.
Okay. I guess I'll kind of like palm the shelf too, see if like there might have been, like if it's just books and shelving, or if there might be like a page that might have fallen out or something.
Nope, nothing else.
Nope. Okay. Quick look at the shelf underneath and above. What are those books about, roughly?
Geography, more historical geography type books, more factual.
Boring shit. Okay.
Boring shit, yeah. You get the sense that they've surrounded something interesting with boring shit.
All right, I'll go back down.
Sure. And,
Do you want me to do more checks so I don't fall on my face?
yeah, why not? Why not? Since you asked.
Why would you do it?
I made life hard.
Why would you
say it?
Oh, no.
First rule of player, never ask.
I am profoundly got my nose in a book, so I'm not catching you at this point.
18, 21, and 10.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no, it's such a strong beginning. Yeah, you make your way down pretty well, and even showing off a bit.
I'm gonna say I do a really bad kind of wobbly superhero landing.
Yeah, superhero landing.
Oh, it's so bad on the knees.
Yeah, you do hear when you land, like off in the distance, the upper distance, like, oh shit. And yeah, now you have a book about deities and demi-deities and stuff with a middle section ripped out.
I'll go sit with Feder and Yusuf, and then as I'm going by Yusuf, I just kind of like give a little tug on his tail, like his little tail. Just think.
I do not notice, so it frightens me. Ah!
Sometimes a spot of research is required to plot one's next course of action. Sometimes that research takes place in a vertical library whose main traversal requires climbing and swinging from ropes. As a bullywug, that's no trouble. But I have to imagine there's a reason why this floor plan is not quite caught on yet. Anyway, you're out of ale, so I'm going to be leaving. Join me next week, and I'll tell you more of these demon days.
So,
Are you guys getting any of that
I mean-
reverb from Drew's mic? Are you guys?
yeah, a little bit.
hearing that? Yeah.
A little bit.
It kind of comes and goes.
Yeah.
Spit on it.
Lick it.
Get that cord right in there, just like right in there.
Blow the dust off it.
How's that? Better?
Yeah.
It was good.
I think it wiggles free occasionally.
Yeah, it's mostly before you start talking that it like comes through.
Daddy.
What?
I mean, that happened
Who's disco
at
fever?
a perfect time.
Right?
Who's ringtone? Is that from your old your old sidekick?
No, I logged into Twitch, and for some reason it's got the speakers for the Zoom as the computer speakers for some reason. I don't know.
Oh,
I thought John was like literally putting on some dice rolling music.
Yeah, Daddy. Dice Daddy.
Recently removed. Is it fairly clean? Kobold!
funny you mentioned the kobold.
Hey, do you need to go to the bedroom?
They stole all the books and ate them.
Lay down. Lay down.
Yes, I need to go to the bedroom. Arf.